What can we use to measure time? Are there markers that connect to the movement of the stars?
The stars would shift about 1 degree every 72 years.
It's not anymore in the same spot. Our planet is moving, but we can't feel it, not in the same position. And that was, it's in a change all the time. Nothing stands still. You know that our planet make a cycle every 24 hours, sunrise every 24 hours, right? But our planet also revolve in a different way.
Precession is the motion of the axis of the Earth, which wobbles like a spinning top due to gravitational pull.
This is known as precession in astronomy. The star moves or appears to move because of the precessional wobble. We have a date.
Plato called a precessional cycle of 26,000 years a great year.
The great year is Plato's term for this vast cycle of time, one eon, one precession of the equinox. It's about 24,000 years. And there's over 200 myths that talk about this cycle of alternating dark and golden ages, or that make reference to a golden age in the distant past. 30 different cultures have passed down these myths from time to time, and they all related to the movement of the stars, which we know today as precession. Even Sir Isaac Newton himself wrote a book on it, trying to match history to each of the constellations of the zodiac, and it was wiped out by the Darwinian evolution paradigm, which came along, less than 200 years ago, where it became unacceptable to admit that a culture that lived long, long before us might know something that we don't know.
On different continents, cultures have come up with the same ideas.
There's a certain science of cycles that's embedded into the world age doctrine of the Maya. You find it nicely paralleled in Egyptian ideas as well as the Hindu world age doctrine known as the Yugas. And it's somewhat counterintuitive to what we've learned in our own Western education, that it's referred to as the myth of progress, that human beings today are in all ways superior to human beings that came before. It's simply not true. Cycles go through periods of increase and periods of decrease.
Mayan day keepers are descendants of the ancient Mayan people and monitor the sacred calendar. Each day has certain qualities and gods. Day keepers follow the movement of planets, eclipses, and astrological alignments. They are often trained shamans who do divination ceremonies, giving daily and monthly forecasts.
The Maya calendar is really interesting because it's based on a lunar rhythm. And the core building block of the sacred calendar is this 260-day cycle. Maya daykeepers today will offer as an explanation for this that it corresponds to the human gestation period. It's roughly 9 months. So all human beings share this primal rhythm of unfolding based upon the lunar cycle. And that's a real interesting key to what you might say, the Mayan time philosophy.
There are many ways of dividing time: solar cycles, lunar cycles, and larger cycles of time. The Mayans devised their long count calendar, which combines a cycle of 20 named days with another cycle of 13 numbers to produce 260 unique days. Each of the 20 days is linked to a different god in Mayan mythology. The Great Cycle started in 3114 BC and ends in December 2012.
Well, the long count calendar is the most interesting calendar that the Maya had devised. This is of great interest in our times because this large cycle in the long count calendar, this period of 13 Baktuns, ends in 2012. So there's a great interest in figuring out why the early Maya skywatchers picked 2012 to end this large cycle of time.
The Mayans were excellent calendar makers. They intercorrelated the movements of the moon, the sun, and even Venus to make their calendars very precise. And for some reason, they have their long count calendar, the Baktun, ending here in 2012. So it seems perhaps they're trying to call attention to something.
Many people have been talking about 2012 as a turning point. What is the significance of this date?
In the years around 2012, the December solstice sun will be lining up with the center of our Milky Way galaxy. This is a rare alignment in the great cycle of the precession of the equinoxes, this 26,000-year cycle. Now, another thing that's interesting about this period of the 13 Baktun cycle that began in 3113 BC and ends in 2012 is its midpoint, 550 BC. This is a time when great world teachers appeared on the stage of history. Pythagoras among the Greeks, the Buddha, Zoroaster among the ancient early Persians. So there's also something to be said for the way that the long count divides up time in a certain way that defines periods in human culture, dawn points, high noon points, and end points.